Batman on Saturday night. The Batman's fighting for his life. The Joker's on the roof, he's there, and he's got a brand green hair. He sits right in his fucking hair, and then he sucks his big fucking
It's so good. Which is fine for our game. All of them.
He will stick it in his ass, make it quick and pass some gas. And poop comes out and he starts to scream. He's a maniac on the floor. And he'll rape you like he'll never raped before. He's a maniac, oh my God. And he pulled it out and he stuck it in the floor. This podcast is my favorite show. Robin entered to stay. There's a rhyme right in there, but it's gonna sound so gay. And then the fat geek comes out of the light. He makes his favorite crime and penis. Thank you for checking out Batcast. Yeah, we're going to pretend like that never happened. I'm your host, Andrew Caracci, alongside
Robert Roth.
And Robert. What do we have in store tonight?
All right. Tonight we have the last two episodes from, what do we call it? Series 1, Season 1, Volume 1.
We'll just call it Season 1.
Season 1 of Batman, the animated series. We had Mad as a Hatter and Maniac.
I just love that song.
It's a good song.
It's really awesome.
Every time that one comes on the radio at work,
yeah,
like I always think, I bet he's here listening, just jamming out to it.
I heard it this morning.
Yeah, it always plays early in the morning.
And I was like, yeah, my vendor that I was like, I'm like, dude, it's Maniac. Like, this song sucks. I'm like, fuck you.
He pushed his whole pallet over. Get out.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a McLean's driver, and I think he was French or something.
Ooh, me.
Yeah, I think he was either French, German, or terrorist. I wasn't quite sure.
Well, all the same, actually, nowadays. It doesn't really matter. And then we review Batman Under the Red Hood, which fantastic.
I told you you were gonna like it.
Fucking tastic. Like, I could have just watched that twice.
Right.
I could have reviewed it twice.
Right.
Like, it was really good.
Oh, well, there's a lot there. I mean, there is a lot.
Like you said, like, non-stop action on that one. Like, seriously, just continuous. Like, there's everything going on. I mean, the Joker, fantastic.
And it was like, it had that psychological thriller to it as well. Where, when we saw Mask of the Phantasm, it was more of a mystery, and they were trying to tell a story. This one, they told a story, but it was kind of like, there were some loose ends that, when we get into it, that didn't really make a whole lot of sense.
Right.
Like, the ending didn't make a whole lot of sense. But you knew it. This was high-powered voice actors acting out lines, and you had some famous, like, actual. They brought in a lot of people for this. The score was really good too.
Yeah, agreed.
Once again, like Christopher Drake, right? That was his name.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever he is, like whatever music he composes, this is a guy they need to get in to do the rest of their animated films, because this is what because you haven't seen any of these outside of the two we saw. So,
do you remember the ones that came out right between, it was right after The Dark Knight. It was like Assault on Arkham and one other.
You saw that one?
Yeah, I own them, actually. I would probably have to watch
Son
them
of
again.
Bat?
It was like 2 or 3 movies it came with.
Well, the Son of Bat series is Son of Bat, Batman vs. Robin, and Batman Bad Blood. That's what they
released it as. What they were positioning it as when they released it was the lead up to The Dark Knight Rises. That's what they were.
Okay.
That was what it was released.
Assault on Arkham, that came out after that movie.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
That came out in like 2014.
Okay, then I'm getting the wrong one.
And Assault on that was the Arkham Asylum.
Regardless,
movie, right? What was? Did you kind of know? Did you watch it at least?
Yeah, I watched all of them.
Tell me what it was about, and I can tell you what movie that is. Because I've seen all of them. It was Batman, right?
One of them followed two detectives the entire time. And then Batman came in at the end. So it was pretty much a detective story, like
a short, kind of a short film.
They were short ones, yeah.
Okay, that is Arkham Knight.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh, yeah. Got it.
They had
that's exactly what it was.
Kind of had that anime kind of story. Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't care for those as much. They're all right, but like I watched it only one time though. That was what you saw? Was just that? Okay. Yep. Yeah, that came out right around that time.
Perfect. So you're right. That's exactly what it was. I got the Arkham part right. All right. Cool. I probably said Assault on Arkham because I was just looking at that one. So
that one's all right. It's okay. It's better than Suicide Squad, but it's the Suicide Squad story that should have been told instead. I shit all over Suicide Squad every chance I can get.
I haven't really found anyone who is a huge fan of the movie.
Right. There's been people that defended it. There's not a whole lot you can defend outside of the character who played Harley Quinn was pretty good. And Will Smith was pretty good at being Will Smith.
Will Smith is good at being Will Smith in every Will Smith movie.
Right. I mean, he was playing he was playing every Will Smith character he's ever played. Not what Deadshot is. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. Anyways, this was should we talk about Red Hood just right off the bat?
Yeah.
You want to go right into the Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll talk about Red Hood. We might not get to the other two episodes of the animated series. We might save that for next week. If this continues long. If we cover this pretty shortly, then we'll get into those episodes.
Sure.
Because those were good episodes too. I don't want to just skip them.
No, they were. I mean, we had the Mad Hatter one in there, and then the final one was a good one for if you're on acid. It was a Scarecrow episode.
Yeah. So, anyways, the Red Hood. So this is for people that aren't real familiar. I mean, first of all, if you haven't seen it, please watch this.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Watch this movie, and this is
a great movie. I would say I enjoyed this movie 3 times more than I enjoyed Rise of the Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises.
Okay. Did you like Dark Knight Rises?
Not really, not particularly.
I actually did like that movie.
It was a mediocre movie. In my opinion, it was nothing.
Whole thing with Dark Knight Rises, I thought the first 60% of the movie was really, really good, and then the second half just fucking sucked.
Well, I shouldn't say I didn't like the movie. I wasn't a huge oh my god, this was fucking amazing. It was a movie. I watched it.
I feel like The Dark Knight Rises was more towards the comic book crowd than the casual audience for the most part, because they were introducing characters really fast at the end there. They brought in Raish's daughter, and I mean, any comic book nerd knows who she is, and they tried to play her off as someone. It's the only movie that I didn't like. I don't know. I think The Dark Knight, which was the second movie, that was the only one I didn't watch more than once. I didn't like it.
It was amazing.
Yeah, I really like Batman Begins.
I will stand behind that one all day. And that was actually one thing we agreed with. I remember one of our first conversations, I think, was about that. How best Batman Begins, or best one out of the Nolan trilogy.
Yeah, it's by far the best one.
Yeah, I mean, and it's the most unappreciated one. People actually, I think, forget that one exists because everyone went crazy over The Dark Knight. Everyone went crazy
because Heath Ledger's the best Joker.
Whatever. And fucking
he's dead.
Good for him. He died, and oh my god, he got so deep into it, and fuck. Whatever.
So what it was is nobody saw that kind of style of Joker on live action before. But I've seen that Joker. We've seen it before.
Right.
Mark Hamill has been playing that Joker since day one. Just this was a PG-13 version of it. Mark Hamill plays a PG version because of the limitations of animation and it being marketed towards kids. This movie wasn't marketed towards kids. So I looked at it as Mark Hamill if he was able to do what he wanted to do. Another thing is I didn't like the whole, I'm done talking about a movie that we didn't watch. So let's talk about Under the Red Hood.
So much newer than Batman the Animated Series.
2008.
We had a lot of visually completely a different cup of tea. You still, it's Gotham City, dark overtones and all of that. It's not the super realistic Gotham City from the Nolan movies. It's still the animated where it's New York City but darker.
Always raining.
Yeah, it's always.
I don't think there's ever a sun.
Yeah, there is no sun. It's always sunset. So it's still very dark, but with computer graphics and sharper animation techniques and all that, it's a very crisp, clean animation style. So visually, very good looking. Story-wise, you pretty much jump right into Robin's death.
They opened up.
So that is the opening to the movie. That is not kill. That sorry, spoiler alert. In the first 2 seconds, you get to see Robin get beat to death, or beat terribly to the point he had broken legs with a crowbar and then blown up.
Now, as far as an intro is concerned, which one had like a big like which one was more extreme, this or Face Off?
What?
And Face Off within the first 2 minutes of the movie.
I can't even comprehend the comparison in my mind. We randomly came up with Face Off out of all movies. What a terrible fucking movie, by the way.
Oh, I love Face Off.
I
love it.
Like, if you love it for the wrong reasons, I will accept you say you love it.
To me, Face Off is like a movie where you have Nicolas Cage acting like John Travolta as Nicolas Cage, and John Travolta is acting as Nicolas Cage as John Travolta. It's like a mindfuck.
You can appreciate Face Off for the same reason people like me appreciate Steven Seagal movies.
Oh, God.
So I'll throw that one. You're not watching them. If you can watch them, you're not watching them for the right reasons. And
the one thing that did have going for it is I think John Travolta is a very good actor. And I think Nicolas Cage is pretty good. So, like, they had that going. I don't think
Nicolas Cage was good before he became a parody of himself, like Christopher Walken. I could say the same thing for him. Like, Christopher Walken, very solid actor. Very solid actor. But then he got into the point where he was typecast to play Christopher Walken. It's your character.
Kind of like Will Smith now.
Yeah. Or, well, Will Smith can play a serious character. It's almost like Denzel Washington. Like, he's become this character, and you're watching the movie to watch Denzel Washington be Denzel Washington, but you can still get, like, a serious good movie with him being in it. Nicolas Cage or Keanu Reeves now, or anyone like that, like, you're watching it because, that was so Nicolas Cagey right there.
Christian Slater.
Yeah, Christian Slater's another one where he's like borderline like that, where they're just typecasted because these are eccentric characters. You know what I mean? Like, like John Wayne, for instance.
Let's get back to Red Hood.
Yes,
we keep getting away from
it. Get there. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so anyways, we open up with that scene where he gets murdered. The one thing I did like about it is this movie, and I would have to say this movie does not target a general audience at all. This is straight to the Batman fan, because they don't tell you it's Jason Todd getting beat. If you're a Batman fan or you're a reader of the comics, you know that's Jason Todd. Now, if I didn't tell you that was Jason Todd, you probably would have thought it was Dick Grayson.
Regardless, they quickly helped you figure that out right after the intro when you had Nightwing.
Right.
So that
not a lot of people know that Nightwing is
like
the first Robin.
That immediately solved that issue right there. Like, you see Nightwing. Okay. I think that's why they introduced him when they did. So if you had any question, there's Nightwing.
Right.
And then if you didn't know who Nightwing was, the goons that were at the dock
they know. They looked up a Wikipedia account.
They explained immediately, awkwardly, who Nightwing was. Oh, wait, who's the pretty boy? He was Batman's original bitch. He was it's like, and they immediately get into it. So if you don't know, you're given a treat first. Otherwise, it's immediately followed through with an explanation of what's going on.
So Red Hood, we first see him right in the very beginning in that awesome scene with the gangsters around the table.
Red Hood, a.k.a. Deadpool Light.
You know the Red Hood's been around longer than Deadpool. Okay.
Deadpool Light. Deadpool Light is what
I think Deadpool debuted in the 90s?
Yeah, Red sounds right.
This is originally a graphic novel that was from the 80s.
This is Deadpool. I like it. I'm not making fun. I don't care. It's awesome either way. Even if they base Deadpool completely on it.
Well,
Deadpool gets the recognition.
Deadpool is a parody of superheroes. He's not really a real. That's why I don't take the character. I like Deadpool. Don't get me wrong, but it's a parody, so I don't ever.
Correct.
I never put it in like the same universe.
Well,
it's like to me, it's like Deadpool is like the Tick.
No, Fox is pushing it. Fox will not accept that. What you're saying right there. That happened. Deadpool is a legit superhero now, and for all intents and purposes, in the movie universe that they've created, Deadpool is not a parody. He is a firm part of the X-Men universe.
Fine,
like
whatever.
I'm just saying. He's part of Fox's Marvel universe as like a legit superhero. Like that's what they want. I agree with you. He is a parody. I agree with you 100%. But that's not the reality of it.
Fair enough.
It sucks, but yes.
Fair enough. But anyways.
But if you're not familiar with the Red Hood, think Deadpool, but more badass.
He looks like him. Yeah, he does.
And to the point. Weapon-wise too, they both use 2 handguns.
Well,
and blades.
Deadpool's like, to him, it's just it's a game and everything. Like with Red Hood, he's got like an actual ulterior motive.
Yeah. He's
wearing the Red Hood as a symbol of the Joker, because the Joker who is the one who killed him. So he thinks if he wears what the Joker wore before he was the Joker,
he's getting his attention.
Mm-hmm. Only reason why he wore that hood, or it wasn't even a hood; it was a helmet. So he should be called the Red Helmet.
Like, correction. Yeah.
So he shows up, and he wants the entire gang to kick in with him by kicking him 40% of their profits.
Well, yeah, it was all of the gangs that operate and sell drugs in Gotham.
Right.
He wanted to unite all of them, and they were all going to essentially pay him 40% as a protection fee.
Right. And then the one guy's he fires at them right away, and they all take cover. And he's like, "You're trying to get yourself killed, kid? There's a lot of different ways you could have done it." And he's like, "Yeah, like yell at the guy with the AK-47." Good line.
Mm-hmm.
Good line. Whoever wrote the lines of this movie, like, I know that when we were watching it, we were talking through it a lot, so we missed some stuff, so I had to rewind a lot because I've seen this movie a few times, clearly. But there's a lot of good lines in this movie. And the last 8 minutes of the movie, I would have to say, is probably the best 8 minutes I've ever seen in any animation. Like some of the lines they were saying, and just like that whole fight scene with Batman and Red Hood, and then the Joker involved with it. It was a perfect like mesh.
Agreed.
And the Joker, once again, isn't being utilized as this main character again. He's playing a side character just like he did in Mask of the Phantasm. And I think that role works. You could have replaced Joker with anybody. But it works for the Joker because the Joker is the only one deranged enough to go out of his way to kill the Red Hood or to kill Robin just to get at Batman. The only reason he would do it. I could see, I could see Crane killing him because he's in the way. But I don't think any villain would have the balls to like go after Robin to kill him, knowing what would happen to him. Like
right.
They don't want Batman to cross the line.
And this goes back to our discussion, like actually over the last few weeks, where we keep on talking about Joker's code, which is the polar opposite of Batman's code. And Joker's code is his life goal, the only thing he's working towards is breaking Batman.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want to kill him, he wants to break him. If that means he has to die in the process, he doesn't give a fuck. That's not the point. Like he wants Batman to be broken, and then his life's goal is complete. So yeah, if he has to kill Robin to get to Batman, and Batman fucking kills him over it, that's perfect. That's his goal. That's what he wants. It's all part of his code. That's what he wants. He's trying to break Batman. So that's his manifesto. That's his what he's going for.
And we really got that in this film.
Oh yeah, especially like you said, the last 8 minutes, like this, you could see like this was this was potentially Joker seeing everything he's wanted to see come to fruition. Like you could tell, like, oh my God, I've almost got it. And then,
clearly we so then we kick to I think we kicked to a scene where Batman and Nightwing are fighting Amazo. And this was good too. This was, like I said, this movie was just full of action. Absolutely full of action. And it makes you wonder, where the hell was this? Like they were sitting on, like, I've seen a lot of their animated movies, and outside of Flashpoint Paradox, I'm not impressed by really any of them. This is the one that blew me away. And this was the first like big one they did after the animated series. They did the Arkham Knight thing, then they did Batman Year One. That one didn't do so hot. And then in like 2006, I think they might have done one more. They did a couple Justice League movies, like The New Frontier, which I thought sucked. War of Worlds, which was fucking awful. And because they went to the old school Justice League that nobody likes, instead of sticking what Bruce Timm's Justice League was, which was a way better Aquaman with the long hair and just with a hook for an arm, and just yeah, and he's just kind of emo. I mean, he hates everything and everybody. So the thing was that
when you do that, I get to see a big blue blob on my screen. It's awesome. It's like, oh gosh.
So, like, where was the storytelling before? Because when we go through all the other animated movies, you're not going to see a better one than this. Unfortunately, maybe you might like Flashpoint Paradox, like almost to the same level, because I thought that was really, really good. But outside of the rest of them, this is the best as it gets. We saw Mask of the Phantasm, which is in its own little, I think it's in its own universe. And I don't think it's fair to compare Red Hood to Mask of the Phantasm, because Mask of the Phantasm was appealing to a different audience.
Correct.
It was appealing to a more broader audience that didn't really know, and more to kids. And they were basing it off of their universe. This is a different universe, so they could do more.
Mm-hmm.
I like I said, this is as good as it gets. So unfortunately, it gets worse from here.
This is the Batman universe that the movies, the live action movies, should exist in.
Correct.
This is where they should be. Not this stupid Nolan verse, which it doesn't feel like Batman all the way, other than you have Batman in it, quote unquote. Like, this is the universe that the Batman movies should exist in, no, without a doubt.
Like the first Tim Burton movie.
Yes, it is its own thing. It is not meant to be reality. Like, it is not meant to be New York City rebranded Gotham City. Like that is not the point. Like,
with WWE headquarters.
Yeah, this is Gotham. This is Gotham City. This is Batman. These aren't real characters. This is its own universe. This is its own thing. Like this, I don't know. We're gonna
now
split her off.
Now you can see. Now you can see. And I'll stay on that point. Just one last thing I'd like to add to that. You can see, like, when we were talking about those three movies, and I kept telling you what I disliked about them. You saw what I consider the best. What I consider the best animated movie of, like, that era. Because, like I said, Mask of the Phantasm, it's its own. I still consider that one better, but that's for other reasons. For a strict on, like, geeky Batman film, this is by far the best one.
Yeah.
And when this one competes, I think this one competes against Nolan's films, and it should be the standard. And Bruce Timm should go up to Christopher Nolan and say, "This is what a Batman film should look like.
Well,
now, here, watch it, and now create something like this."
You have the proper Batman. You have Alfred acting in the role Alfred should act in.
Right.
You have both Robins playing to their strengths or weaknesses, give or take.
Why they make Dick Grayson such a bitch in this?
I think that's just what he is. I'm pretty sure Dick Grayson is just a bitch. I think that's his character. I'm pretty sure that's what that Robin is. I think that's just it. Maybe that is what it will take for me to accept that Dick, like, I think that's the only way I'm going to be able to, like, swallow that pill, which is Robin, is to just take it that his character, they write him annoyingly because that's what his character is. He's the Spirit Squad. And once you can accept that, Like, it's okay because that's what he is. There's no writing him better. That's what that character is about.
We saw like 25 episodes with no Robin.
Correct.
Now we're gonna get all the Robin episodes.
Well, fuck, huh? Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, I don't know. I thought Nightwing. It looked cool to see him in a movie. Like, I used to like Nightwing when I was younger, so it was cool to kind of see him. Because you see him as Robin when you're a kid, and then when you get older, then he becomes Nightwing. So you feel like you're growing up with him.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell your friends he used to be Robin. And then they get to see Rob, whatever. Then they retell the story 100 fucking times. That's what they do every new generation. They retell the fucking story.
Right.
And we get another origin film. What do you think of the Red Hood?
Awesome character.
You like the guy who voiced him?
Yes, Dean from Supernatural.
They couldn't have gotten a better voice for him.
Jensen Ackles. So,
what about Black Mask? That was your first time ever seen Black Mask, right?
Correct. Who was, if you've watched Prison Break, Officer Bellick, the big bald guy who is an asshole in the first 2 seasons, then becomes a bounty hunter, and then becomes a gay bitch in the South American prison. He was the Black Mask. Badass character. Fucking badass character. Anger issues.
A lot of anger issues.
A lot of anger issues. He's what you want in a crime boss.
He did more selling. Oh, not selling because it felt real. But to me, this is what a heel should be in professional wrestling.
Yes.
Reacting to what is said. The biggest problem in wrestling is someone says something and it then gets shrugged off because it's cool not to react. No, it's not. You need to be over the top. You need to react to it. That's why guys like Kurt Angle are amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Batman.
Yeah, Black Mask, awesome character. I liked his secretary.
Yeah, she was pretty badass.
She was just a fucking like uber cunt bag to the point it just worked. Like, she was just like calling out exactly what was happening, and as they were fucking things up, she was like, "Yeah, the Red Hood, he's killing everyone, and so is Batman, and things are just fucked up right now." The Black Mask is just getting angrier and angrier, and she just keeps on going with it. He's punching people in the face and the stomach, knocking shit over. He threw his desk. She just stands in place and just keeps on talking, like monotone, completely. That was a good character. This was filled with a lot of great characters. I think Joker was done superbly in this movie.
I was going to get to that.
I think he is. I think the voice acting, it was a little bit of an adjustment going from watching a ton of the Mark Hamill ones over to this guy. But as soon as he left, you got it. Like, at first you're like, okay. And then it didn't help that you said, oh yeah, by the way, it was Bender from Futurama, because then I heard it. I'm like, okay. But then, like, he laughed, and you're like, oh, this works. The animation on him, super psychotic, very well. This was a good Joker. This was actually the Joker we saw from when he was torturing a fat guy a few podcasts ago. I forget what that one was called. Which
Joker's
episode?
Favor?
Joker's Favor.
Yeah.
This was the same fucking psychotic, crazy Joker you saw from. This was not a funny Joker. He had funny lines, did funny shit, but this was a deranged Joker in this one. This was not the comical, Joker's antics. He was a deranged fucker in this one, a complete psychopath.
This is also Joker, like, probably as Joker for like 8 to 10 years by this point. Because, so I would imagine that now he's upping the ante each time.
Correct. Yes.
You saw the kind of prison they were keeping him in. I mean, he was chained up in his cell.
They did not want him to escape.
So, Batman now, who kind of isn't really necessarily the star of this movie, but he is still the main character. What did you think of this Batman?
I mean, I felt like he was an extension of the Batman we get from the animated series, just older.
That's what I got
just
too.
significantly older. Like, this is pretty much the same Batman. I mean,
How
he
about the
wasn't
voice actor?
he did a solid job.
I thought he was all right.
I think he did a very solid job.
There were a few times where I cringed a little bit. The scene where after him and Robin, the Jason Todd Robin, they showed a flashback, and then they were talking in the Batcave where he's like, you shattered his collarbone. We needed him. He could have talked. Like, that line, like, that just, I cringe every time I hear it because it feels not authentic to me. It feels like he's reading a line.
Right.
I don't know if that's how you felt, but
this is Bruce Greenwood, right?
Yes.
That did that?
Yeah.
It's been a lot of shit. It's Captain Pike in Star Trek movie, 09. Did a good job in that role, too. But, yeah, I mean...
That was the only complaint I had.
I feel like I like the Batman we saw. Like, a little more anger. He's older and angrier. More to the point. You know, he's not willing to bullshit anyone nearly as much. And you saw him as Batman pretty much the whole movie.
Yeah.
He was not Bruce Wayne. His mask came off a few times, but he never was fully out of the uniform.
No, this was a Batman movie.
Yeah.
This wasn't a Bruce Wayne movie. So yeah, you had that going on, and man, what else?
Which actually would be one problem with the Nolan movies, where they were Bruce Wayne movies, where he intermittently became Batman. So that's...
I think that we'll probably have one show where I will dissect all three of them movies. I mean, Batman Begins, I don't have any complaints. I like Batman Begins. I felt like that was a Batman movie. I don't know if you felt like that, but I felt like that was a real good origin movie. The second
good story, very good story.
Second one goes suck a dick.
Yeah. I didn't hate it as much as you do, but I understand why you do. Maybe if I watch it again, I'll feel differently about it because I'll have a slightly different perspective. I'm open to hating it. How about that?
Fair enough. And then I thought that Batman was it Batman Rises Up or whatever, or the Dark Knight
Rises.
I thought like that first beginning was actually really good, and they were going back to what Batman Begins was. They went back to the Batman Begins kind of storyline. I felt like this probably should have been the second movie instead. And then stupid turn at the end. It fucking pissed me off to no end, to the point I actually see her bullshit. Like, I yelled it. My buddy's like, dude, you need to calm down. And I got angry. Because I knew it was coming, and I was really hoping it wouldn't come. Then he came everywhere. No, I'm kidding. But
come on, no. Ah.
So we get into Red Hood again, and I know we keep dissecting it, or getting distracted.
Distracted.
Right. But let's talk about the relationship with Jason Todd, Batman, Joker, and we could even throw Nightwing in there. That whole like trio of three dudes and a cup. I'm kidding.
Well, Nightwing was irrelevant.
Right.
So Nightwing served no purpose other than to pretty much suck the Red Hood's dick.
You heard what Batman said, that Jason had so much more potential, more than Dick ever would have. Better than him in every way. So this was like his true Robin. Now,
correct.
Now, in the comics, the fan base hated Jason Todd. Because I think they were rejecting the fact that there was a second Robin. They didn't want a second Robin. They wanted to keep Dick. They liked Dick Grayson because they grew up reading about Dick Grayson. So anytime a new person comes in, you immediately hate him. And so the fans are the ones who killed Jason Todd off. They had Joker kidnap him and beat him half to death, and had the fans vote whether or not he should live or die. He died. So we saw the beginning of Death of a Family, which is that comic, and then we went into the Red Hood.
Right. You had to set up the story for this one,
Right.
so you kind of have it split.
So you have Batman with his relationship with Jason Todd. Jason Todd seems like he's kind of a loose cannon as well, and that like gives no fucks like with hurting people, and like he feels he's way more passionate about it than I feel like Dick is. He's passionate about what he does.
And he's more comfortable in his role, and it would have taken more time overall from Batman's standpoint, you would have needed more time to control what you had there, and then you would have had something perfect.
Right. I think what Batman saw is someone that could be his true successor. Someone that could be Batman after Batman retires. Because I think he was looking for retirement, and that's what that's why he keeps bringing in these young kids and training them. Because you experience that. Imagine you're a kid, right? And Batman exists in your universe, and then Batman brings you to his Batcave, reveals himself to you. Doesn't take his pants off. That weird shit.
That's exposing, not revealing. Well, I guess it's revealing.
He reveals himself to you.
Reveals and exposes.
And he says that I need your help, but it's going to take years of training. You're instantly just going to jump on board because you're a kid.
Right.
So the one thing that Bruce Timm does with Batman is he makes him a little psychotic in that retrospect that in one of the Justice League episodes you had McGinnis, who ends up becoming the successor in the very, very distant future.
I'm not even sure that's a real successor he would have wanted per se.
No, it's just happened.
It's a stumble, it's not into it because you can tell he's never truly happy with what he has there. It's just like, oh well, I guess this works. Right, but he told them he said, every person that you've ever had has left you. There's a reason for that because there's no end game. Mm-hmm. And Barbara said that we all went to you. We all thought we had it. And even Robin even says, the first Robin, he's like, you don't know him like I know him. He manipulates you. He makes you think that you want to do this, but really he wants you to do this. And that's what Bruce Timm does with that Batman. We'll see it over time, how it evolves, where he kind of manipulates situations and he always has to be in control. And he's always in the right. He always has to do the right thing, even though it's not really the right thing to do. Right. And so that's what drove the first Robin away from Batman, because he got older and realized that this guy is almost as psychotic as the guys he's bringing in. Right. So he left. We'll get to that. There's an episode where they actually explain all of it. It's called Old Wounds. But with Jason Todd, he's younger than Dick, and then what ends up happening is he gets murdered by the Joker. So now Batman, from this standpoint forward, he doesn't work with anybody anymore because he feels like it's his fault that Robin got killed. It kind of is, in a way. He put him in that position, but he also had a choice, and he was old enough to not, whatever. But I mean, the point is, like he said, my soldier, my mistake, my failure, my fault. He's like, I will carry that with everything else I carry. So this is a guy that clearly is willing to take. I don't know if he's willing to take responsibility, because he really doesn't take responsibility for anything. Batman's weird like that, because he says you have to take responsibility, but if one of his teammates dies because something on his watch, because it's his fault, what did he do to take responsibility? Besides saying, I'm taking responsibility, or I'm owning it. Well, okay, you're owning it. It's your fault. But what are you going to do to prevent this from happening again? What are you doing to take responsibility? I know what my thing would be if I'm going to take responsibility for my actions. I'm turning myself into authorities. I'm revealing my mask and I'm turning myself in. No, you're not. Why?
Because that's
not taking responsibility.
Yes, it
You're
is.
not solving anything. You're not fixing anything. That's
you
giving
let
up.
you let them decide, because what you're doing is illegal.
Yeah, but you didn't kill him.
No,
You didn't. It wouldn't even be anything you could be convicted of in a court. It's not like that. It's your guilt doesn't mean you have to live with it. You have to. It's bad enough he has to live with it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I totally
him
agree.
accepting it and him owning up to, this is on me. I have to live with this now. That, I think, in and of itself is the punishment it would require. Taking your mask off, and that then, if anything, that's making his death. That's putting his death in vain. That's not solving anything. That's not only now has Robin been killed, but you're also taking the Batman away from the citizens of Gotham that actually are benefiting from his presence.
The police are just going to let him. Okay, so maybe I tell Commissioner Gordon.
Tell him what? That Robin died?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And let him be the one to decide what should be the next thing to do. Because he's like, did that. You also got to think, if there is no Batman, would these criminals exist? These super criminals? The Joker probably wouldn't exist.
Without Batman?
Correct.
But you have plenty who are doing things on their own to do things on their own.
Right.
You have, ones like Scarecrow, Penguin, Harvey Dent. All of these people exist independent of the Batman.
Well, the Harvey Dent one could have been prevented if there was no Batman as well.
Yeah, but no, not the extent.
I feel like he could maybe do more good as Bruce Wayne than sometimes as Batman.
Sometimes.
In certain situations, in most situations, not in all, but he can give a lot of money to the police. He could actually train police officers, his training. So now you have a bunch of police officers who could fight like Batman. Maybe not like him, but a lot better than their training that they get.
Batman can go around the law. Batman doesn't need a search warrant. Batman doesn't need, to worry about collateral damage the same way. If a building explodes because he fucked something up, it doesn't matter because he gets to wander off into the sunset. Overall, he does the things the police cannot.
Yeah.
So that's the advantage of Batman.
But this story exclusively, you had Red Hood versus Batman tearing up the city. Batman's not really trying to stop. The point I'm trying to make is his morality comes into question a lot because he would have let Jason come back to him as Robin after everything he did. That's an issue.
No. Batman lets criminals exist.
Correct.
As long as they're operating under their code. As long as they're not out of line. As long as they're not fucking things up they should. He doesn't give a fuck about drug dealers. He doesn't care. There are crimes he's fine with. There are crimes he is not. He is fine with a structured crime organization. It's fine. It's not in a perfect world. Would he want it to exist? Probably not. He understands it does exist and he understands it's going to. And he essentially works with these people. He works around these people. He lets these people be. He's not otherwise you wouldn't have the Black Mask. You wouldn't have fucking crime lords. They would all be just dispatched of. They'd be gone. Their organizations would be.
Most of the crime lords don't have any power because of Batman. You have Black Mask, who's the only one who is able to do it. They said that. The reason he can't just go take Black Mask out because there's laws and he wants to do it the right way. He wants to take him down, make these crimes stick.
He could cripple his organization to the point he wouldn't even have to take him down. He would just be ineffective. And the other crime bosses that were at the conference under the Red Hood, they had their little mini empires that were,
Batman might not even know about most of them. Because
they're under the radar to the point he doesn't give a fuck.
Right.
Would be my. He doesn't care, is my point with certain things. There's certain things he doesn't care about. And as for the Red Hood, he probably can just shrug off the shit that he does because he can somewhat justify it in his own mind. And that's not immoral because the people he was killing, yeah, he doesn't believe in killing them or whatever.
But it's not
I
what he
think
was
very
taught.
well at the end of it, the way they wrote it was before he turned the gun on Batman at the very end of it. If he would have blown Joker's brains out, he wouldn't have given a shit.
He gave a fuck.
That's the point.
Right.
Until he knew the gun was turned on him. Prepared to not give a shit. Turn his back and let him do what he needed to do because he knew it was the right decision.
Yeah.
That's exactly how that was written for him to, this is it for the Joker, I guess. That was the moment where you're like, wow. Other than you knowing the Joker was going to live, you very well could have seen the end of the Joker at that point, the way the story was. Because, and you would have just had, you could have written it where he blew the Joker's brains out, Batman would have just paused, turned his head like a little bit and just kept on going. Like, well, I guess he's right. Someone had to do it. He agrees with him. The Red Hood is what Batman would be if he turned.
No, he wouldn't be taking a percentage. He wouldn't be taking money from him.
No, not that part. But I think that was all just a fucking gimmick anyway. That was
to get to Black Mask.
That wasn't even it. That was a gimmick.
That was only
it.
That was only to get to Black Mask.
Right. That wasn't even a thing. That was all, as he even ended up saying, that was all part of the scheme. That was all part of the plan. That was shit. That was all shit. So the cut part of it was whatever. But that he is the advanced version of Batman. He's what Batman can't be.
Because Batman won't kill.
Mm-hmm. But I think Batman could live with him.
He wouldn't be able to.
I think
they could. It wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be like
what Batman is to the police is what Red Hood is to Batman. If that makes sense to you.
I get it.
Because they're each taking it a step further than the other one can because of their own laws or codes. The police have to operate under the law. Outside the law, they have their strict policies and laws that they have to operate by. Batman will go above and beyond that because he doesn't need warrants. He doesn't need to follow the law. He can do things his own way. Red Hood will murder the fuckers. He'll just come in and kill them. And he'll shoot them to death. And he has no issue operating beyond the codes that Batman has. The only law that Batman operates under is don't let him die. I guess I'm just used to
Bruce Timm's original Batman, where he feels that every life still matters. Criminals, like he won't go out. We see him save scumbags from their death. He doesn't just let them die.
Right, but this is grizzled Batman.
Right.
This is Batman as he's older now. He's more jaded. He doesn't give a fuck anymore. He's just not going to be the one killing him. There was even the point where he killed, where Red Hood killed the one assassin. Blew his fucking brain up. Blood went everywhere on the wall. Blew his head up. Just boom. Batman's like, well, fuck. He just kept on going. That was his reaction. Like, oh well. And Red Hood's like, well, he was an assassin. And then Batman just changes the topic. Well, isn't that what you are? And da-da-da-da-da. And it just ignores the whole fact. Batman from Batman the Animated Series, every time someone even almost dies, you can see his heart is going out to him like, oh my God, did this just fucking happen? Where this Batman doesn't give a flying fuck. So this is advanced Batman. This is a better Batman. Red Hood is what Batman would be just if he killed people. So that's how I see it anyway.
That's fair.
I could be wrong, but it's like you can watch multiple stages here. Like if you start with Batman the Animated Series, and you have, if you put the police on the bottom, you have that Batman right above the police, with the ability of what they can and can't do, and then you skip ahead to this time, and then you have advanced Batman who he's still operating under his code, but he gives less of a fuck about the criminals because he's just getting annoyed at this point and impatient. of Red Hood, who is beyond that, where he just doesn't give any shits and just kills everything.
Well, I think the Red Hood was only doing all of that just to get. But I think the whole thing was just to get Joker. I don't even think that he even gives a fuck about the criminals or that he's killing them.
Right.
He's killing them to get attention, and the only thing he wants to do is he's trying to get Batman to kill the Joker.
But he has no issue with killing them, is the point.
Correct.
Like, that's not even a consideration.
But
he's operating as a sociopath.
But if he were to get what he wants and the Joker ends up getting killed, I don't think a Red Hood exists anyways. I think that his only purpose as being the Red Hood was to get Batman to kill the Joker. And since that didn't happen, I don't think there's going to be a Red Hood anymore. Like, I think that he's not trying to be a vigilante to the extreme, like Arrow in season 1. He's not trying to be a vigilante at all. He's only doing that to get A, Batman's attention, and B, Black Mask, who's the only one who can get Joker out of Arkham. Because he's the only one that had the connections. Right. So if his plan were to work, there's no more Red Hood. I think he was planning to blow them all to bits anyways. He had that bomb in there.
Yes.
Why was that bomb there?
Well, that was his backup. That was the failsafe, like, you didn't do the right thing, Batman. Now I'm going to blow everyone in the high heavens. That's what
is this? What does that even accomplish at that point?
Anger. Fucking anger. He was hurt.
Right, but he still doesn't want to kill him. And one thing I do like about the Red Hood is he's got so much respect for Batman still. Like, even when they fight together, that was really cool.
He's more of a Robin than Nightwing.
Correct. He's an equal.
Right.
And I could see Red Hood maybe going back to Batman's code after the whole Joker thing was done. If Batman would have just shot the Joker, which would have been kind of an awesome scene, if Batman would have just shot him, I could see Red Hood saying, okay, this is what I wanted. It'll probably take some time, but I want to still work with you. And I will promise not to kill. And then Batman would be totally okay with that. And I feel like, in a morality standpoint for Batman, the one thing I do like about Batman is he's a hypocrite in his own mind. Like, he's very hypocritical. He tells his kids not to do this, and then when in certain situations, when you think that the right thing for him to do is to arrest him or whatever, and then put the Red Hood in Arkham, because he's clearly not all there. But at the same time, Batman belongs there too. Anyone who puts on a bat costume at night really has issues.
Some.
Right.
Mm-hmm. He's not criminally insane, though.
No, he's not criminally insane. That's correct. He's not a criminal. Well, he is, but a different kind. He's a vigilante.
I'm going to gas the entire town and then fuck everyone. Like, not that. No. So.
Who does that?
Well, I combined the 2 episodes of the animated series we just watched.
Oh, clear enough.
So.
So yeah, and then you have the connection. It's always the Joker. Every time a story is like this, it's always the Joker.
Well, he's your top heel.
Right. So
yeah.
The best part of this whole movie is the last, I want to say 10 minutes or so, with the fight in the alleyway that leads up rooftops, through a couple of buildings.
Through a couple of walls.
Well, I was getting to that. Then they get into the bathroom, and that's where Robin, or Jason Todd, got his ass whipped. Because Batman now was pissed. Because he had no idea what this all was about still. He had no idea. He had no idea what this, like, he thought that Robin was mad at him because he didn't save him. And that's what pissed off Robin. It's like, are you kidding me? It's I know going into this job that I probably can or will get killed. So if I die working with you, I know that. So I can't believe that Batman would even think that that's why Robin was doing all this, because Batman didn't save him. As Robin says, he's like, I don't know what's worse, something to cloud your judge of morality, or like your ego. Like, he has such a huge ego when it comes to stuff like that That is very egotistical that he thinks this whole thing's about him. The only thing it's about is believe that he couldn't bend the rule, his one rule once for him, and that's why he was mad. That's why he did all this. That's what it was all about. That if, like he said, if it was you that he took from me in this world, I would have done nothing and scraped the bottom of the earth to find and put this pile of devil-worshipping piece of garbage and send him off to hell.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what the whole thing was about.
Yeah, but they're operating under two different codes. Batman's code, like, that's what he is. Like, it...
Right.
That...
Is that Batman, he didn't, like... His morality, or his, like, thing where he thought is that the Red Hood was mad at him because he didn't save him.
He had no reason to believe otherwise.
He knew. He's Batman. He knew. He knew that once when the Joker ended up becoming involved in this, that he should have known. It's because the guy, he has a huge ego. That's why the story really works. I'm not saying like that this was a bad, makes the movie bad at all. This makes it great because Batman thought this was all about him again. And that's what he is. I mean, he is, that's exactly what Bruce Timm makes him out to be. Especially when we get into season 4. You don't see that in the first 3 seasons because he doesn't do that. But in season 4, you really, really see that. So you have Joker in that situation. I love it when he's just like, "Aw, so you do think about me." Like, just egging it on a little bit.
Well, yeah, because Batman has a whole fantastic line about, every day, I just think about killing this guy. Like, pretty much he goes on and on and on about torturing him in the same ways that he's tortured everyone else. And, like, he, like, goes on for a while about what he wants to do to Joker, but he doesn't. And then he just follows it up at the end. But I don't, because then I know better than blah, blah, blah. He goes on and on.
He said that if he were to cross that line just once, he wouldn't be able to go back.
Right. The Red Hood.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's a good story.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, clearly, because there's so much to talk about with it. There's a lot of things that you can discuss, and they're fictional characters, and they're written one way. There's not going to be next week on Red Hood. Like, this is it. Mm-hmm. We had a beginning, a middle, and we didn't really have.
Let's talk about the scene where they get the Joker out of fucking jail. They take the Joker out of Arkham. He's sitting there. This is a much better written scene. Did this come out after The Dark Knight?
Yes.
So this was pretty. This then could be interpreted
similar to The Dark Knight.
This could be interpreted as this is how you should have written the scene where the Joker stabs the one guy in the eye with a pencil.
He's like, "You want to see a magic trick?"
Where
Ta-da!
this is how it could have been done.
God, I hate that voice.
He asks for a glass of water. May I have some water? Breaks off the glass of water, slits one guy's throat, takes his gun, and lays out all of the bodyguards that are in the room.
And then starts laughing.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm going to need a truck. And I'm going to need some guys. Not these guys, because they're kind of dead."
Yeah. The black mask just sitting there like, God, okay, I got you. I understand. Like, I like how understanding the Black Hood was of what just happened. It was as though he knew this was going to happen. He was waiting. It was almost like it was a job interview. And the Joker just passed by doing that. And he was just sitting there like, mm-hmm.
I think he was sitting there thinking like, well, he could probably shoot me right here. And this could be it. That's the way I took it. Like, well, he was like, fuck.
It was pretty much like the Joker auditioning. Pretty much, like, he was showing him, like, I'm good, and I'm in
his face, like, Black Man's like, "Oh, God, what did I just do? What did I just unleash?"
Well, he even said, before he even got the Joker out of prison, out of Arkham, he's like, "Well, now I'm forced to negotiate with a psychopath. It's going to be a nightmare." Like, that's what he said, like, going into it. And then he's fucking sitting at a table across from the Joker, and the Joker wipes out his entire security detail.
Yeah,
like, 4 or 5 guys.
And his whole plan was to tie up all the guys that he gave him and set them on fire.
Including the Black Mask.
He's
in
like
the back
this,
of the truck that he asked for. Like, he asks for a truck and a bunch of guys.
So he can pull them up in a truck.
The even better part about all of this is they cut ahead to the scene. You see a truck on the freeway, on a bridge, that crashed through like one of the barriers. So you have a truck half dangling off of a bridge pretty much. The people inside the truck are the guys and the Black Mask and Black Mask's assistant, all just tied up in the bottom of the truck. And he's pouring gasoline all over them. You don't know how.
Did you notice all of them had their mouths tied except for the Black Mask?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And you don't know how it got to this point. You can only use your imagination as to how he tied up like 10 guys, the Black Mask and his assistant, and got him in the back of a truck. Like, what the fuck? Like, you hired this guy to kill the Red Hood, and this is what he does. This is how he thanks you. This is his idea of how to kill the Red Hood. Like, and then once Red Hood is there, he lights them all on fire anyway. Like, Batman puts it out. But,
yeah, boo.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, no, that was good because then Black Mask survives. Because Black Mask kind of was amazing in this movie. I love how he's like, "This wasn't part of the damn deal."
Yeah,
I was like, "Poor Black Mask."
Yeah, like
he's the victim of this movie. He's just doing what he's been allowed to do this whole time. Red Hood's fucking with him in Black Mask's mind for no fucking reason.
Well,
like he's like, what is wrong with this guy? Why is he targeting me?
Well, and Black Mask even like comes to the realization at one point, shit, I'm just caught in the crosshairs. Like, fuck, or the crossfire, I should say. Like he knows he's not even the target. He understands that he's just like a victim of circumstance. Like he understands. Like he puts it together. Like this isn't even meant for me. I'm just paying the price for all of this. And then he accidentally selects the one person that makes things worse for him.
Right. And then when they're talking on the freeway, which I don't know how they would have been able to hear each other. They were really far away. And there's a lot of noise, but, whatever. This isn't Nolan's universe. This is a comic book universe. So they're yelling at each other from one side to the other. And Red Hood's like, or Joker's like, hold on a second. I'm just about to set fire to your gang. It's like, go ahead. I don't care if that scum dies. He's like, oh, I don't really care. I was just trying to get your attention. And then Red Hood's like, yeah, you got my attention. You had my attention the whole time. And he made it sound like that he organized this whole thing. And Joker's like, well, looks like I've been bamboozled. And then Black Mask is down there and tied up. He's like, you cannot trust anybody. Poor Black Mask.
Yeah, he really just was getting fucked the whole time. Like it was just literally it was a series of unfortunate events for him. Like it was one poor decision, which it was just bad. Everything was bad for him.
Yeah. Like I said, I felt so bad for him. Like now watching this again.
Yeah.
Like he was clearly.
Yeah. Like, yes, he was a crime boss. Yes, drug dealer. Anger problems galore. But damn if he wasn't just getting fucked in this whole movie hard. Like, well.
I loved it when the secretary told them, he's like, I could have sold the damn thing for parts, but Batman kept it. She's like, yeah, Batman kept it. He likes to keep things.
It's like, what?
Like, how does he he just takes a bunch of shit and he props them up in his in his Batcave, like as trophies. It's a little psychotic, just a little bit.
Well, why not?
Right.
Fuck it.
Oh, you have to be to do that job.
Yes.
You have to be as determined as he is. What else happened? You had Robin was a bitch the whole movie.
Yeah, Nightwing.
But you like Jason Todd though?
Oh yeah, hell yeah, fuck yeah, amazing.
I do too. What about Ra's al Ghul? We didn't get a lot of this. We didn't get a lot of him. But
he is what he is.
I liked him.
There's really not a lot you can do there. You never know quite where he's coming from. You never he's. He is what he is. I neither like nor dislike him. His character, you really can't go too far with it because of the nature of what his character is.
I like the fact that he has a lot of respect for Bruce. He knows Bruce is Batman, by the way.
Right.
He didn't train him. That's Batman Begins. Anyways, the story of Ra's al Ghul is the reason why he's so obsessed with the Batman is he wants Batman to be his successor. That's what it is. He wants him to lead the League of Shadows because he feels that he's the only one worthy enough to do it. That's where the Deathstroke is.
Yes.
Deathstroke also was like Ra's right-hand man and wanted to be the successor. But because Ra's is so set on Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne will eventually change his mind and be my successor. So Deathstroke gets mad and then wants to kill Batman for it. That's why he hates Batman. Because Ra's likes him. He does not know that. I don't think he knows that Bruce is Batman, though. Only Ra's knows that. There's even scenes in the animated series where he'll be fighting one of Ra's men, and then they're about to take his mask off, and he's like, no, leave the mask on. It's honor. Like he wants to fight him with honor, so he lets him keep his mask on. So he's got a lot of respect for him. He's actually a really cool character. He's not really a villain. He's more of like a super vigilante. He doesn't think anyone's worth saving. He wants to kill everybody because he wants to restart.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like what do you want to call a cult?
He's a
cultist? A painter?
Well, this movie, like,
I said that.
Part of the story which led to Robin dying because he got the Joker and hired the Joker was
just to distract him.
To distract him while he collapsed the entire economy of Europe. So that's where he's coming from. He's doing these grandiose, like, beyond supervillain things. Like, you have supervillains that are trying to take down a bank or take down a city. Yeah, he's trying to take down a continent. Like, he's trying to take down the
world
economy.
Domination.
Right. So he's Lex Luthor style bullshit. Like, he's above all of that. Everything else is petty to him. He has his own thing, the super elite. He is super powerful. He everything else is so far beneath him it doesn't even fucking matter. So he's immortal. He's fucking immortal.
Oh, one scene that I want to talk. Like, I really like when Nightwing was talking. He was drinking his coffee. He's like, that one, Joker. He's still in Arkham. You think we should pay him a visit? And he turns, and Batman's already in the Batmobile, starting in the car. Mm-hmm. And he's like, for once, can you just say, "Let's get in the car"? Love that scene.
Right.
Because throughout the whole thing, him disappearing, that started in the animated series, and now every Batman incarnation does it. There's even one where Superman does it to Batman. He's like, "Ugh, that's what that feels like." And then he sucks his own dick. But then, man, this movie was awesome.
No, it was a good movie. It was a fantastic movie.
Joker, at the very end, where he wanted all three of them to go out together. That was awesome.
Did you like him saying they should take pictures?
Yes.
Like,
it's like, okay, ooh, who's got a camera?
And I love that he asked for every combination. He's like, all right, so I want one with a kid, and then me and you, and then all three of us, and then we should get one with the crowbar. That one in there. It's like, Jesus.
Robin pistol whipped him after that.
And then we should get one with crowbar. It was like way to rub the guy. Like, great. So
he takes shots at him a lot. Like even when they're in Arkham and Batman was talking with Robin or Nightwing with him, and he's like, "Oh, big bird boy, you're no fun anymore. Look at you now with your big boy pants and of course, I guess you're way better off than that other one. It's a lot better standing here than being worm food." And then Batman fucking threw him across the table.
Yeah. Like, ooh, are you gonna put me in a body cast again for 6 months? Like, yeah. Well, oh well.
Okay, so ranking time. By characters, give it out of, we'll do 10 stars. Bruce Greenwood, or we'll go with Batman first. The character itself, what would you give it between 1 and 10? As far as the best Batman you've ever seen compared to the worst.
I'd have no problem with an 8 or 9.
I'm okay with that too. I would have to say it's the second best animated Batman I've seen. As far as the guy voicing him and that kind, like that style of Batman. Bruce Greenwood as Batman, I thought he was very good.
Yeah, he did a fine job.
I don't think he's Kevin Conroy. I think Kevin Conroy's still significantly better, but Greenwood was still really good. So I would say Greenwood's probably an 8. And Conroy I just put like at an extreme 10. Nightwing.
No.
Neil Patrick Harris.
He did a good job. His voice work was fine.
Yeah.
It's just a bitchy character.
Yeah, it was a bad character.
It's not his fault. So I mean,
and that's not what Nightwing is. So I don't understand that at all. So fuck him. Jason Todd.
Awesome fucking character.
The guy voicing him.
Gets a
awesome.
9.
I would say 10.
9,
I'd say 10. I've never seen a better Jason Todd than this, and there's never been a Jason Todd. So as of right now, he is the standard.
Yeah, but it could just be a sucky blow-ass character like Nightwing, and he could be like, 4. So, I mean, it was a great character. Great character. Like,
Joker. Now, where do you rank this Joker out of the Jokers you've seen?
Out of all of them, across animated and live action?
Nah, we'll leave live action out.
So just animated?
Animated or television show, that's fine too, if you ever seen him on a TV show. But we'll leave the
execution-wise.
Fuck it. We'll put him with Jack Nicholson and Heath Ledger.
Okay.
And Cesar Romero, but I don't think you watched the 60s Batman that much.
I've seen it. It always used to come on before Star Trek, so I watch it. I have no issue putting it on par with Mark Hamill's because I'm not like a purist like you. I like this version of the Joker.
Oh, it's great.
I like what he had to offer. I appreciate the differences between this one and his. So
I would say that this Joker was written better than a lot of the Mark Hamill.
Oh,
Jokers.
Absolutely.
Written better.
Yes.
That doesn't mean he's a better voice actor. I just think that specific Joker might be the best Joker I've seen in animation.
I'm fine with that. Yeah.
And I think it would have been just fine with Mark Hamill voiced it, but I really think that DiMaggio was the perfect guy for it, because I think they needed a little bit more of a darker Joker, and Mark Hamill's more of an uptone, needs to be kind of cracking jokes and that kind of stuff. This one didn't really do that as much.
No, this one was a pure psychopath.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the way the Joker's supposed to be. It was a little Heath Ledger-y, but way, way better. And I fucking hate Heath Ledger's Joker, so it's like, there are certain things I did like about him, but for the most part, as an overall whole, I think it's the most overrated Joker.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I can't believe that people say, it's the best Joker of all time. No, it's not. And then, of course, Black Mask. Is this the best crime boss we've seen? Is he better than Rupert Thorne?
Yes, of course he is. Of course. I can't think of one better. I can't think of anyone executed or written better. This is what you want in a crime boss. This is everything you want in a crime boss.
So what about the ending? You have that random flashback at the end. Settle well. I kind of wanted something where you kind of felt like, okay, maybe I wanted closure. We didn't get that with this. We got this weird ending. This is the best day of my life.
I think this was written so well.
Oh yeah, I do too. I love it.
Love the ending.
But when you're watching as a casual guy and you're expecting some kind of closure as a normal movie,
because there is no closure.
There is no closure, and that's why it's so perfect.
Yeah. This even if you thought there could or would be, this opened it up. Just so you understand, to cement the fact it was written perfectly. This cements the fact that there is no closure to it. Because this is what's going on in Batman's mind. This is where Robin is in Batman's mind. This is what died. This is what he was to him. So
I think this is the most tragic Batman story we've seen so far. And did you at moments feel for him at all? Feel like, damn, this sucks right now.
For Batman?
Mm-hmm.
At the end, yes, because that's what they wrote it to be. Because you're seeing almost shades of happiness with Batman, like him interacting with that Robin as a child, and that's what he had to let go, and that's what his Robin became. So that's why that one was kind of like shit, like wow. Like when you look at it from that perspective, I mean that's what's kind of rough about that one. So it was written very well, perfect, because that was essentially what his kid grew up to be. It was the father-son kind of thing, and that's what his kid grew up to be. So, oops.
Yeah, it was. This movie was awesome.
Yeah,
I mean, like, there's
fantastic movie.
I just can't. So, a rating out of 10, is this a 10?
That's a 10.
Yeah,
that's a 10.
Yeah.
Fuck, it's better than, like I said in the beginning, this is better than Nolan's 3. So I have no problem saying that. Probably one of the best Batman things I've watched, best superhero things I've watched.
Did you personally like this one better than Mask of the Phantasm?
Yes.
Okay.
I like the story of this one told a lot better.
Now,
I like the faster pace. This is more in line with the type of movie I like, and that's the only reason.
Okay.
Mask of the Phantasm was a fantastic movie, though.
So the next question is, because I would almost agree with you. Like I enjoy watching this one a little bit more. Taking that in mind, which one in your mind, and it's kind of unfair to compare, but which one do you think is the better movie? Like, not necessarily which one you like better.
Which one stands alone as a movie and doesn't feel like... Well, this one stands alone as a movie, is a thing. And this one was so jam-packed that you could expand it further if you had to. You could have made this one longer. You could have made this one significantly longer, and it wouldn't have suffered. There are definitely scenes you could have expanded upon in this one. With Mask of the Phantasm, you essentially had an extended cut of an animated series episode, which you could take it a little bit further. So when if you view it from that one,
it was complete. It was separate from it. They just used the animation style.
Right, it's the same animation style, same voice work, that sort of deal. But if you look at it from that standpoint, you have a better standalone movie with this one. You have a good story with Mask of the Phantasm, though. Very solid stories. You have a more linear story. You have an easier to understand story in Mask of the Phantasm. But you don't have as advanced of a Batman and as established of a universe in Mask of the Phantasm as you do in this one.
And you're really limited in Mask of the Phantasm too.
Right. You have a more ready to go movie with Under the Red Hood. Like this one, like you have so many more avenues of storytelling in this one than you do in Mask of the Phantasm. You have to keep that one short, sweet, and simple. Where this one, you can just go anywhere with it.
The Mask of the Phantasm had different restrictions. They had it was going to be a theatrical release. Red Hood probably, I don't think, could have been a theatrical release movie. Mask of the Phantasm, it bombed because they didn't advertise for it. But Mask of the Phantasm had a... if I had to compare it like overall with certain things, I think their music was, way better than Red Hood. Red Hood's was really good, but I really like Shirley Walker's score. I think the story, I feel like Mask of the Phantasm is a true Batman story. Red Hood is more about Jason Todd, his relationship with Jason Todd. It's still a Batman story, but it's not about him. It's about Jason Todd. That's why I like Mask of the Phantasm more, because it's a Batman movie. And a lot of these Batman movies, they're not Batman movies. He's just happens to be the main character, but it's always about something else. He takes the back seat. He's putting over the talent. He's putting over guys. He's putting over Jason Todd. He's putting over Black Mask. He's putting over these other characters. Mask of the Phantasm is finally like, okay, we're going to make this about you.
Also, Batman didn't give a flying fuck about the Black Mask in this entire thing. I want to make that explicitly clear. You had your main bad guy and your main eventer in Batman who didn't even Batman didn't acknowledge the Black Mask even existed. First off, Black Mask acknowledged Batman, but realized he wasn't the issue. So like that wasn't even a thing in this, which I thought was just a hilarious side note to the whole thing. Like you had like your two of your main things not even like interacting with one another. They were both fighting their war through proxy, and they weren't even in a perfect world, they would have almost been allies. If you look at it from the end, if you actually look at it from the end of the movie back to the start, had everyone like knew what they would have known at the end of it, you would have almost had the Black Mask ally with Batman. Just saying. Like you would have had the Black Mask probably go to Batman in the beginning instead of trying to turn to the Joker.
Yeah.
Which is just hilarious to think that that's how, if the Black Mask would have played his cards properly, the Joker would have never been involved. You would have just had him immediately go to Batman and explain the situation. Like, fuck this shit. This guy's after me. I think he's trying to get to the Joker. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Help me, please. I understand we're on different sides of things, but god damn it. Like,
I need help.
I need help. I won't sell the kids anymore. I'll do something for you, but we need to figure this shit out. That could have been a thing, which is great.
The Telltale game.
Yes, I started playing the Telltale game, the one that you attacked me for viciously on the show last week. Yes, I am. So they're all done by episodes, correct? That's correct. I'm trying to use the right terms here. So they're all done by episodes. I'm 4 or 5 chapters into the first episode because I owe PlayStation, but I get the achievement for chapter completion.
There's only 5 chapters. Well, there's no chapters, and there's just episodes. So you're still in the first episode?
It's chapters within the episode. I'm in the first episode.
Oh, they don't have that in.
Oh, because I get an achievement for every chapter complete.
Oh.
In the
That's
episode.
kind of weird.
Yeah, because
so you're still in the first episode.
Yeah. Well, here I'll pull it up really quick because I can pull up the achievements on here and.
Right. So you're in the first episode.
I'm in the first episode. Yeah. So gotcha. I'm at the point in which I just had my meeting with what's his name? The dude in the park.
Oh, Cobblepot?
Yeah, I just met up with him in the park, survived the whole attack and everything, and then he pretty much told me to go fuck myself, and we'll see which side everything is on, and then that's where I am. So let me pull up my achievements here. I don't get trophies, I'm sorry. I'm 4 chapters in, or 4 chapters in. My time played, by the way, is 2 hours. Just throwing that out there.
Jesus.
So.
Going a little slow on it.
No. I'm going as fast as the game makes me go. That's as fast as it makes me go. Like, that's as fast as it goes. That's the way the story, like, I think you can choose how fast you play a Telltale game. Can you? Like,
no, you can't.
They just kind of really play. They just kind of go. So. Okay. Chapter 1 is Welcome to Gotham. Chapter 2, The One That Got Away. Chapter 3 is Meet the Press. Chapter 4 is World's Greatest Detective. Chapter 5 is Room with a View. Secrets. And then that's it. So there's 6 chapters.
They're doing like a chapter. Every scene's a chapter.
Correct. And then the next one then that starts up is chapter 1 of episode 2. It's Broken Memories, and it goes on and on and on from there. So it breaks up each scene into an achievement, into an achievement. So I'm 4 in. So my next up is going to be Room with a View, and I have Family Secrets, and that one's done. What is going on?
Well, that was Batcast.
Oh, just like that, huh?
I'm Andrew Caracci alongside
Robert Roth.
And we'll end up with some Alone in the Dark 2 music to play us out. We'll cover those 2 episodes next week, along with our 3 that we're going to do.
That's
So
fine.
we're doing 5 30-minute episodes. I thought that Red Hood should have just deserved its own episode.
Yeah,
So,
I completely agree.
I didn't realize it was going to be as good as it was again. Even though
It was so good. I'm probably gonna buy it now.
it's amazing.
It's a
I
good
think
movie.
you guys sell it too. I think it's a double pack with another Batman movie.
Go for it.
What do you want to do for the next one?
Movie wise,
Yeah.
one as good as that.
So you want to go to Flashpoint then?
I'm fine with that. I don't care if we don't need to go in order on that.
No. The only thing we'll go in order for is when we get into the new Batman universe. Like with Batman or Son of Bat, we'll go in order for those 3 movies. Because they tie into each other. Other than that, we can do a Batman Superman movie next time too. We can
That
do
works.
Public Enemies.
We haven't really,
Public Enemies is a good one
we haven't
too.
done anything with Superman yet. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do Public Enemies for 5 weeks. Got it.